The Russia-Ukraine war has crossed a dangerous red line. What was once a regional conflict has now exploded into its deadliest phase, threatening not just Kiev or Moscow but shaking the very foundations of global peace, testing NATO, destabilizing economies, and pushing the world closer than ever to a confrontation no one can ignore. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Global Times USA. Please subscribe and like my videos because today's update is one of the most significant and alarming developments in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. Breaking: Russia-Ukraine war reaches deadly new phase. What we are witnessing now is not just another clash, but a shift that could redefine the balance of power, the strategies, and even the future of Europe's security architecture. To fully understand this deadly new phase, let's break it down carefully, exploring what is happening on the outside world stage, what is going on inside the territories, how the performance of both militaries is evolving, what kind of safety measures or the lack of them are being taken. Unique points that make this moment different from all others, the cost in terms of human, political, and economic price, and finally where all of this could lead. From the exterior perspective, what the world is seeing is a war that has escalated into a new dimension. The conflict is no longer confined to the borders of Ukraine or the regions that Russia has occupied. Instead, the war is now spilling into wider territory, both literally and figuratively. Attacks have reached deeper inside Russian regions, while retaliatory missile and drone campaigns have intensified across Ukrainian cities. Satellite images show large-scale destruction, smoke rising from critical infrastructure, and military convoys moving at unprecedented speed. The exterior view also includes the growing international involvement. Western allies are not just supplying arms, but providing intelligence, training, and even covert support, while Russia is forging stronger ties with other powers to counterbalance. The world's media and diplomats are framing this as the deadliest stage since the invasion began, and the tone is far more urgent. The global exterior scene paints a picture of a world on edge, economies destabilized by energy shocks, food insecurity spreading in multiple continents, and the looming threat that this war might drag NATO directly into confrontation. Inside Ukraine, the situation is deeply complex, painful, and heroic at the same time. The interior reality is that Ukrainian civilians are living under constant fear, often spending nights in underground shelters as drones and missiles strike with little warning. Families have been displaced, millions forced to flee their homes, and yet there is still a sense of resistance, a determination to survive and fight back. Ukrainian cities are scarred with destroyed apartment blocks, shattered bridges, and hospitals struggling to treat waves of injured people. The interior of the Ukrainian government and military leadership is one of resilience and strategy. Meetings in underground bunkers, sleepless nights for commanders, and desperate calls for more international aid reflect how serious the new phase has become. Internally, Ukraine is relying heavily on technology, from drone innovations to intelligence-driven strikes, adapting to modern warfare like no other nation in recent times. At the same time, Russia's interior situation is strained too. Inside Moscow, the leadership is trying to maintain control, suppress dissent, and rally its population around the war narrative. The Kremlin is reinforcing security, censoring opposition, and projecting strength, but the economic sanctions are biting hard, and ordinary Russians are facing shortages, inflation, and uncertainty about the future. Thus, the interior aspect of this war shows not just the battleground, but also the psychological, social, and economic battles taking place simultaneously. The performance of the military forces on both sides has changed dramatically in this phase. Ukraine's performance has surprised the world again and again. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned on paper, Ukraine has managed to use mobility, intelligence, and Western weapons effectively. They have conducted precision strikes that disrupt Russian supply lines, targeted fuel depots, and even attacked high-value assets inside Russia. Their soldiers, many of whom were ordinary citizens just months before, are now hardened fighters with real battlefield experience. The performance of Russia, meanwhile, is showing signs of both strength and weakness. On one hand, Russia still has massive reserves of artillery, tanks, and manpower. On the other hand, its forces have been stretched thin, morale has been questioned, and the world has seen videos of equipment failures, mismanagement, and lack of coordination. The deadly new phase is marked by intensified drone warfare, heavy artillery exchanges, and urban combat where performance is not just about technology, but about endurance, willpower, and the ability to adapt under fire. Performance here is not just about weapons, it's about the human element. Soldiers are pushing their physical and mental limits in extreme conditions, and both armies are being tested like never before. Safety features in this war are tragically inadequate. While there are attempts to protect civilians, the scale of destruction shows how fragile safety really is. Air defense systems are working overtime to intercept incoming missiles, and sirens give warnings, but not always in time. Underground shelters, reinforced bunkers, and protected command centers are being used. But the reality is that no place is truly safe in a war where drones can strike silently and missiles can reach hundreds of kilometers. For soldiers, safety is about tactical positioning, wearing body armor, and relying on advanced medical evacuation procedures. Yet the casualty numbers prove that safety is often more of an illusion. Civil defense initiatives, evacuation corridors, and humanitarian aid are part of the safety measures, but many have failed or been violated. This deadly new phase has shown that safety cannot be guaranteed when escalation is constant, and weapons are becoming more lethal and precise. Even the safety of neighboring countries is in question, as stray missiles and drones occasionally cross borders, triggering fears of wider conflict. What makes this phase unique is that both sides are escalating in ways that could reshape the war. For Ukraine, the unique point is its ability to innovate under pressure. It is using smaller, cheaper, and smarter weapons to counter Russia's larger arsenal. Its reliance on Western intelligence and rapid adaptation of technology makes it a modern asymmetric power. For Russia, the unique point lies in its sheer size and determination not to lose. Russia is leveraging cyber warfare, propaganda, and strategic alliances to maintain its influence. Another unique element is how the world is involved. This is no longer a war between two nations. It is a geopolitical contest drawing in NATO, the EU, and even countries far from Europe. The unique selling point, if we borrow that business term, is that this war is teaching the world in real time how 21st century warfare operates with drones, satellites, artificial intelligence, and propaganda battles online, all intertwined with traditional tanks and artillery. This makes it different from any past conflict and unique in shaping the future of global military strategies. The price of this deadly new phase is immense. For Ukraine, the price is measured in lives lost, cities destroyed, and generations traumatized. For Russia, the price is in international isolation, sanctions, and mounting casualties that are shaking the fabric of its society. The global price is being paid through higher energy costs, disrupted food supplies, refugee crises, and the risk of escalation into a larger war. Economists are warning of long-term damage to markets, while humanitarian organizations are overwhelmed by the needs of millions of displaced people. Political leaders are under pressure as their citizens demand both strong support for Ukraine and relief from economic hardships. The price is not just financial, it is moral, ethical, and strategic. Humanity is paying the price of watching another major war unfold in the heart of Europe in the 21st century. In conclusion, the deadly new phase of the Russia-Ukraine war is not just a continuation of the past battles, but a turning point. The exterior shows us a world destabilized and fearful. The interior shows us the resilience of people under fire and the struggles of governments to maintain control. The performance of both militaries is being tested at the highest level. Safety remains fragile. The unique aspects of modern warfare are on full display, and the price is staggering. The conclusion we can draw is that this phase is more dangerous than anything we have seen so far, and its outcome will define not just Ukraine's survival, but the balance of power in the entire world. This war has reached a stage where decisions made in the next weeks and months could alter history. We must stay informed, cautious, and aware of how close the world is to a wider confrontation. Thank you for staying with me through this in-depth analysis. Please make sure to subscribe and like this video to stay updated with the latest breaking developments from Global Times USA.